The rain hammered the windows of Lincoln High like fists on a drum, and I swear I could feel it shaking the bones of the old brick building. That's when he walked in, Ezekiel, soaked to the skin, his dark hair plastered to his forehead, eyes like storm clouds that had seen too much lightning. "Sorry I'm late," he muttered, voice low and gravelly, dropping his backpack with a thud that echoed like a gunshot in the sudden silence of the classroom. I was mid-stroke on my canvas, charcoal dust blackening my fingers, when our eyes locked. It wasn't just the way he carried himself, like he was holding back a hurricane, but the sketch in his hand. A jagged cityscape that bled off the page, raw and alive in a way my own work had never been. In that split second, I knew this guy was going to unravel me, thread by thread, until there was nothing left but truth. Art class at Lincoln High was my sanctuary, the one place in the sprawling Chicago suburb where the weight of being the only out gay kid in senior year didn't crush me. I was Jace Harlan, 18 and already sketching my way out of a life that felt too small. Divorced parents, a mom who worked double shifts at the diner, a dad who sent postcards from truck stops instead of showing up. My portfolio was my ticket to the Art Institute of Chicago, or so I dreamed, filled with urban grit. Rusted L trains slicing through fog, the shadowed alleys of Pilsen where murals whispered stories of the forgotten. But nothing had ignited me like Ezekiel Kane did that stormy September afternoon. He transferred in from God knows where, Seattle, maybe, or some nowhere town in the Rockies. The rumors started before the bell even rang. Foster kid, runaway artist, ghost haunting the halls. Mr. Vargas, our chain-smoking teacher with a beret that screamed, starving genius, assigned him the easel next to mine. "Pair up, Jace. Show the new blood how we bleed for our craft here." Up close, Ezekiel was a puzzle wrapped in faded denim and ink stains. Tall, lean, with cheekbones sharp enough to cut glass and a tattoo peeking from his sleeve. A compass rose, thorns twisting through the points. He didn't talk much, just nodded when I offered him a spare charcoal stick, his fingers brushing mine like a spark off flint. That first sketch he did? A self-portrait, but fractured. His face splintered into shards, each piece reflecting a different light. Golden hour, neon haze, midnight blue. "What's the story behind this?" I asked, trying to sound casual, my heart thudding like the bass from a passing lowrider. He glanced up, those gray eyes pinning me. "Stories are for people who stick around, Jace. It's just echoes." His voice had that Pacific Northwest lilt, soft edges worn rough by something unspoken. From then on, he was my shadow in the studio, watching as I layered shadows on a canvas of Lake Michigan's restless waves, offering a tilt of his head or a quiet, "deeper there, make it hurt." My work shifted overnight. Where I'd once painted safe strokes, now I carved emotion into every line. The ache of unspoken crushes, the isolation of loving in silence. Ezekiel was my muse, unwitting and electric, pulling colors from me I didn't know I had. We fell into a rhythm, easy as the autumn leaves crunching underfoot on our walks to the corner bodega after class. He'd buy black coffee. I'd snag a cherry Danish, and we'd perch on the curb, trading sketches like secrets. "You're good, man," he'd say, flipping through my notebook, his knee bumping mine in that accidental on purpose way that sent heat coiling low in my gut. Like, "Really good. You see the world in layers no one else bothers to peel back." I'd laugh it off, but inside, I was blooming. Finally seen, finally sparked. For the first time, art wasn't just escape. It was connection. Started small, the cracks. One evening, as sodium streetlights buzzed to life, we were sprawled in the empty art room, rain pattering like impatient fingers. I'd shown him my latest piece. A portrait of us, abstracted, two figures intertwined in a swirl of charcoal and crimson, hands reaching but never quite touching. "This is us," I said, voice barely above a whisper, my pulse a wild drum. "The push and pull. You get it, right?" Ezekiel's face went still, then twisted, like I'd handed him a mirror he didn't want. He set the canvas down gently, too gently. "Jace, I can't." The words hung there, heavy as wet wool. He stood, pacing to the window, fists clenched in his pockets. "You think this is easy? Showing up here? Pretending? My last school. They found out. About me. The fags, they called me worse, too. Dad's new wife, She shipped me off like yesterday's trash. I'm not out, not here, not anywhere. My chest tightened, a vice of hope and hurt. But this us, it's real. I feel it in every stroke, every look. I stepped closer, the air thick with turpentine and tension. He turned, and for a heartbeat, his hand lifted, thumb brushing my jaw, soft, tentative, a promise. Then he jerked back, eyes wild. It's not that simple. You don't know what it's like to run, Jace. To build walls so high they choke you. That night, I lay awake in my cramped bedroom, posters of Basquiat and Warhol staring down like judgmental saints. Ezekiel's confession replayed on loop. The fear in his voice, the way he'd almost let me in. I sketched feverishly by flashlight, him as Icarus, wings melting mid-flight, plummeting toward a sea of judgmental faces. It was raw, ugly, beautiful, the kind of peace that could win scholarships or shatter hearts. By dawn, I'd poured everything into it. My loneliness, his mystery, the fragile thread of whatever we were becoming. Words spread like wildfire through Lincoln's halls. Whispers in the cafeteria, side eyes in the locker room. Harlan's got a new boyfriend, the jock sneered, led by Brock Tanner, captain of the football team and king of casual cruelty. I'd dealt with it before. Slurs scrawled on my locker, fairy, spray painted in the parking lot. But this felt personal, laced with envy or something darker. Ezekiel pulled away after that, skipping art class twice, his easel gathering dust. When he finally showed, he was a ghost. Hunched shoulders, averted gaze, sketches reduced to stark lines of isolation. I cornered him after school in the supply closet, the door creaking shut behind us like a confessional. What's going on, Zeke? You're killing me here. The nickname slipped out, intimate and unbidden. He leaned against the shelves, cans of paint rattling softly. Brock cornered me yesterday, said if I hang with you, he'll make sure everyone knows my history. The beatings, the expulsion. Can't, Jace. I just got stable. Foster home's okay, no questions. But you're out proud. I'm not built like that. Betrayal hit like a gut punch, sharp and nauseating. So that's it? You let some meathead bully dictate us? After everything, the sketches, the talks. My voice cracked, hot tears blurring the dim bulb overhead. He reached for me then, desperate, pulling me into a hug that smelled of rain and regret. It's not you. It's survival. God, Jace, you're the first person who's made me want to stay. To fight. His breath ghosted my ear, and for a reckless moment, I melted, arms wrapping around his waist, foreheads touching, the world narrowing to the thud of our hearts. But survival won. He slipped away that night, leaving a note tucked in my sketchbook. Keep creating. You're the light I can't afford to burn in. I crumpled it, rage and grief twisting into something feral. The next week blurred, classes droned, colors dulled. My portfolio suffered. Mr. Vargas pulled me aside, concern etching his lined face. What's eating you, kid? This fire in your work. Don't let it flicker out. The climax came on a Friday night, the kind of biting Chicago autumn where the wind off the lake slices like regret. School's fall art showcase, my big shot. Judges from the institute circling canvases under gallery lights strung like stars. I'd entered the Icarus piece, retitled Fallen Muse. Ezekiel's fractured form dominating the frame, vulnerability etched in every desperate line. The crowd murmured approval, flashes popping like distant thunder. Then I saw him, Brock, red-faced and swaying, beer on his breath from some pre-party tailgate. He lumbered toward my display, Ezekiel trailing a step behind, face ashen. Nice fairy tale, Harlan? Brock slurred, loud enough to turn heads. Your boyfriend here? He's just using you for a sob story. Told me all about it. How you're his little inspiration project till he bails again. The lie landed like shrapnel. But worse was Ezekiel's silence. Eyes downcast, fists balled. You son of a... I lunged, but hands. Mr. Vargas, a security guard, held me back. The room spun. Gasps, whispers swelling to a roar. Ezekiel finally spoke, voice breaking the din. It's not true, Jace. Brock's lying, I told him nothing. I came to tell you. I'm leaving. Foster Systems moving me to Milwaukee. But before I go... He stepped forward, ignoring the jeers, and pressed something into my hand. A sketch, folded tight. "This is for you." The guard escorted Brock out amid catcalls. But the damage was done. Judges averted eyes. My peace, once soaring, now felt tainted. Alone in the emptying gym, rain lashing the skylights, I unfolded the paper. It was us. Not fractured, but whole. Two figures on a cliff's edge, hands clasped, facing a dawn-painted horizon. Scrawled beneath, "You taught me to fly, even if I fall. Don't stop burning bright. Zeke." Tears came then, hot and unbidden, mixing with the charcoal smudges on my palms. Betrayal? Maybe, in the way he'd chosen silence over solidarity. But deeper, it was love, messy, human, the kind that scars but doesn't destroy. I thought of my mom's weary smile over late-night coffee, my dad's faded postcards promising one day we'd all run from something, built walls from fear. Ezekiel's flight wasn't abandonment. It was mercy, sparing me his storm until he could weather it himself. Months later, acceptance letter in hand, full ride to the institute, my fallen muse cited for its raw emotional depth. I stood on the L platform, city lights blurring below. A package arrived that week. A compass rose pendant, thorns dulled to petals, and a note from Milwaukee. "Found my north. Thanks to you. E. No return address, but I knew." I wore it to my first gallery show, fingers tracing its edges as I unveiled a new series, Echoes of Us, portraits of the unseen, the runners, the lovers who loved too quietly. In the end, inspiration isn't a straight line. It's a tangle of hurts and hopes, pulling you toward light even when it blinds. Ezekiel didn't save me, he cracked me open, let the colors flood out. And in this vast, unforgiving American dream, where suburbs hide heartbreaks and cities swallow secrets, that's the real art. Surviving, creating, loving anyway. We don't all get the fairy tale, but damn if we don't get the fire.